Hitler.
There can be no such thing as a military stalemate that would result in the survival of Hitlerism. That is the opinion of a man who knows. Douglas Miller, for 15 years, commercial attaché to the American Embassy in Berlin.
Presenting, You Can't Do Business with Hitler.
Episode 38, Legalized Murder.
Douglas Miller speaking. In Nazi Germany, justice is a word that has never had any meaning or significance. But if justice is perverted in Nazi Germany, it has been completely extinguished in the conquered countries. After the occupation of Poland, the government of the German Reich immediately and methodically introduced legislative and administrative measures that constituted an uninterrupted series of violations of human rights and of the most elementary principles of international law. The courts in Poland, which interpret these German-made laws, follow no fixed rules or procedures, and the judge is the supreme autocrat.
The court of the government general of the Third Reich is now in session.
Call the first case.
First case, Anna Matusak, age 54, step forward.
Read the charge.
On July 22nd, 1942, the Polish defendant, Anna Matusak, willfully and deliberately conspired against the state by allowing her son, age 10, to upset the kerosene lamp, thus setting fire to the premises of said defendant, and resulting in damage to German property since said premises had been previously confiscated.
Matusak, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Please, Judge, I didn't do anything. I was away from the house when my son burned himself. He's a little boy. He doesn't understand.
We'll dispense with the speeches, madame. The court isn't interested.
But, Judge, please have mercy. We are poor people. What did we do?
Silence! Court isn't interested in your excuses. Now, upon due examination of the testimony and after having heard both sides of the case, I find the defendant, what's her name?
Anna Matusak, Your Honor.
Yes. I find the defendant, Anna Matusak, guilty and sentence her to 1 year's hard labor. Next case.
Next case, Maria Markovska, age 32, step forward.
Read the charge.
On July 17th, 1942, the defendant, Maria Markovska, willfully and deliberately conspired against the state by making anti-German remarks and throwing a dishcloth in the face of her German employer. Also, she is accused of laziness.
How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Lies. They're all lies. I work 14 hours a day. You call that laziness? You are guilty. You. I would rather die than live under you.
Silence, her!
Be quiet, you!
Your wish shall be fulfilled. Upon due examination of the testimony, and after having heard both sides of the case, I find the defendant, Markovska, guilty as charged and sentence her to be shot. Next case.
Next case, Jan Kupchik, age 47. Step forward.
Read the charge.
The defendant, Jan Kupchik, is accused of willfully and deliberately conspiring against the state by having in his knowledge the information of the detention of a prohibited weapon by a third person and failing immediately to warn the proper authority.
Very serious charge. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Your Honor, I did not have a weapon.
You are not accused of having a weapon. Charge against you is that you knew that someone else had a weapon.
But I did not know of someone else who had a weapon. I merely heard someone say that he knew that someone else had a weapon.
Good. That's exactly the information we want. The law stipulates that whoever has knowledge of the detention of a prohibited weapon and fails immediately to warn the proper authority shall be punished by death. Upon due examination of the testimony and after having heard both sides of the case, I find the defendant, Jan Gubchik, guilty as charged and sentence him to be shot. Next case.
All these cases are taken from the records of the Polish feature and news service, Bulletin 49. Dr. Feisler, German Minister of Justice, has issued instructions to the effect that German judges and prosecutors are not bound to follow German law when trying Poles, but have full authority to sentence them without stating reasons, whenever suspicion of crime is sufficient for arrest. However, it isn't only these conquered people who have lost their freedom, their liberty, their right to trial by jury and justice before God. Even the true German, the so-called Aryan-blooded patriot who staunchly upholds the Nazi tradition, is always at the mercy of the German brand of justice. In a court in Berlin, a German citizen was being tried for theft.
Prosecutor may cross-examine the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Herr Bauer, you have testified on direct examination. The sausages that were found in your possession on the night of March 23rd were not stolen. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. I did not steal them.
I see. Will you tell the court where you got the sausages?
I found them, sir.
You found them? On the street?
Yes, sir.
Have you any witnesses to prove that you found the sausages?
No, sir. I was alone. It was dark.
Isn't it a fact, Herr Bauer, that you stole them with the aid of an accomplice and then attempted to eat them that same night?
Oh, no, sir. There was no accomplice.
Well, then you admit you stole them yourself.
No, sir. No, sir. That is not true. I did not steal them, sir. I found them on the corner wrapped
Can you
in
prove to the court that you did not steal the sausages?
Well, no, sir. There was no witnesses, but I didn't steal them.
But you did attempt to eat them.
Yes, sir. They was good sausages. Our meat ration was low, but then the Gestapo took them away. They confiscated them.
Herr Bauer, are you a member of the National Socialist Party?
Yes, sir.
Nevertheless, for the last 2 months, you have not paid your dues to the Labor Front. Is that right?
I was unable to pay. We needed the money for the doctor.
And you are back in your contributions to the winter relief. Is that right?
Yes, sir. We needed the money.
That's all. It's obvious, Your Honor, that this man is guilty. State rests.
The court will now pronounce sentence. Defendant, rise. You have been accused of eating or attempting to eat sausages that are suspected of having been stolen. Since there are no witnesses, the court cannot definitely prove that you're guilty. However, for the same reason, you cannot prove you are innocent. Therefore, I sentence you to 1 year at hard labor. Next case.
Even children do not escape the German brand of justice. The Nazis are ready to go to any lengths to stop resistance and to crush the conquered people, even when only minor offenses are involved, or when no actual offense exists. In the outskirts of Rotterdam, Holland, 2 boys were walking through the fields.
Hey, look, Hendrik, I found the cap.
Let me see.
It's an officer's cap.
It's a German officer's cap. Throw it away, Albert.
No, I have a better idea, Hendrik. Let's play a game of football with it. Let's kick it around.
No, throw it away. We might get into trouble.
What kind of trouble? Come on, Hendrik. Here, let's go for the goal. Kick it back, Hendrik. Right here. Well, what are you waiting for? Kick it.
So, you Dutch swine are breaking the law.
Albert, run. Albert, the Nazis.
Oh, no, you
Run,
don't.
come on.
I'll fix you.
Let's go.
Here, you come with me.
Go.
Fritz, you get the other one.
You'll never
I'll
get
teach you to disobey orders.
You're hurting my arm. Let me go.
Oh, I'm hurting your arm, am I? That's too bad. You're lucky I don't shoot you right here. Have you got the other one, Fritz?
Yeah, boy.
Good. Let me teach you Dutch scum how to show proper respect for German law and order. Pick up that hat.
No.
I said pick it up.
Don't do it. My arm.
I'll break your arm.
No.
Pick it up. Now, give it to me. good. You insolent pup. We'll teach you manners. We'll teach you to respect German authority.
Don't. You're hurting me.
Albert!
Squeals like a pig.
Yeah, good. They'll squeal even louder when we take them before the judge and give them a taste of National Socialist justice.
Next case, Albert Gunder, age 13, and Hendrik Christoph, age 14. Step forward.
I see only one. Where is the other defendant?
The other defendant is Albert Gunter, Your Honor. He is too ill to appear at the trial. I believe it was pneumonia, Your Honor. Happened quite suddenly.
Very well. In that case, we will proceed with the trial. Read the charge.
The defendants, Albert Gunder and Hendrik Christoph, willfully and deliberately conspired against the state by playing football with the German officer's cap. Also, both defendants are accused of resisting arrest and using abusive language against the soldiers of the Third Reich.
What's your name?
Hendrik Christoph.
An address in the court, say, sir.
Oh. Hendrik Christoph, sir.
Henry Christoph, how do you plead to the charge? Guilty or not guilty?
I don't know. Why don't you leave me alone?
You're speaking to the judge. Show your respect.
I don't care. I don't care if you kill me the same as you did, Albert. I don't care anymore.
Boy, it's hysterical, Your
care,
Honor.
I
You can do nothing with him.
A very pathetic case. No stamina. Very well. Let us get on with the case. Upon due examination of the testimony and having heard both sides of the case, I find the defendants Albert Gunther and Hendrik Christoph guilty as charged and sentence them to 10 months in prison.
This is an actual case and was taken from a report on Holland which can be found in the book, The Sixth Column, Chapter 5. Other so-called offenses for which convictions ranging from 4 months to 3 years have been handed down include distributing anti-German poems, 8 months, listening to a foreign news broadcast, 1 year, ripping off a German propaganda poster, 6 months, accidentally wounding a German soldier with a bottle, 3 years. Today, Europe is threatened with a fate more terrible than has been known since the 30-year war. The credo of the Nazis is not to let the punishment fit the crime, but to invent a crime that will fit the punishment. You can't do business with Hitler.
You have been listening to episode 38 in the series You Can't Do Business with Hitler, which is based on the experiences of Douglas Miller, who was for 15 years commercial attaché to the American Embassy in Berlin. If you wish a copy of this script, episode 38, Legalized Murder, send a letter or postcard to the Radio Bureau, OWI, Washington, D.C. I repeat, episode 38, Radio Bureau, OWI, Washington, D.C. Listen for the next broadcast in this series. This transcribed program, written by Ben Kagan and directed by Frank Telford, was brought to you by the government of the United States.